Hello, everybody. Just giving a few seconds so that we can get some people going. How you guys doing today? Hello there. So we are here going live on live stream because I don't think I've ever done one of these that's regular, just me, not the characters, since the show's premiered. We have episode 1 that debuted a month ago. Hard to believe it's been that long, huh? And we have episode 2 that'll be coming out, I think, next week. And episode 3 shouldn't be too far behind. That one's already written. Well, most of these are written by now, let's face it. But, ready to go at least. So the next one we have, which is episode 2, is called Fraudcast News. This is where we get introduced to a lot of the side characters, like, say, Brianna or Phineas Q. Scatterwalder. I think that the first one, while it was a very good episode, it was definitely a pilot. It takes a lot of time to introduce everybody and say, hey, this is the League of Men in Disappointing Hats, this is Fergus, this is Dawes, this is blah, 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 blah. Now that we don't have to do that anymore, we get to actually tell the stories completely without having to stop and go, this is Elaine and Elena and Erasmus and all that. We don't have to do that anymore. Although it is going to be much, much, much shorter. Rather than the hour-long time, this one's going to be about 34 minutes, I believe, which is going to be the average length of each episode. But I mentioned beforehand, the first episode was definitely going to be a lot longer. It's a double-length special event. Why not, right? It is the very first episode. And we also need to factor in time to, again, stop everything to introduce you to every single character. So what's going on with you guys? Do you have any comments, questions? Stannard, I'm here to take it. If it's Stannard related, chances are I'll answer it, unless it has something to do with spoilers. Because I don't do that. Until the time is right, that is. And in case you're wondering, that's when the episodes themselves will actually premiere or debut. So, do you guys have anything? While I wait for anything to pop up in the chat, I'm not looking at the chat right now, honestly. I'll check it in just a little bit. So, one thing that we are going to start doing pretty soon is ordering these episodes. In other words, finally finding the right order. We have all of what we want to do set up. We have them all written out for the most part. We just need the order. Because there actually is a lingering story that goes on in Stannard. Actually, there's multiple if we count the subplots like Harold and Elaine. But, we have all the endings to people's stories. Harold, Dawes, Roberto, everyone's got a story. So they all have an ending inside. The only problem is we don't know when these endings are going to pop up. We have them planned, we have them even written to some extent, but we don't know when they're going to show up. And we don't know what order, too, because they're not all going to get resolved in the finale all at once. They're actually going to, before the finale, a lot of these people are going to have their stories done. So what we're looking to do is for episode 3, we're hoping to have Super Person's Day Off. Yeah, it's a super person focused episode. I'm excited too. And I can't tell you what 4 is because that's a secret. Oh, whoa. I just tuned into the chat right here and just to see playback because it doesn't really show quite well on my end. We got 3 folks here and I'm glad to see it. 5 now. By the way, if you guys aren't aware, Stannard Misadventures episode 1 is now available on Spotify. You can look it up on Spotify and get it for free. Doesn't matter if you have a paid subscription or anything, you can go on Spotify, look it up and get it. And all future episodes will be posted there as well. Probably the day after they premiere here on YouTube. That's my assumption at least. We did this in order to help the Stannard brand grow, not only to become more accessible to people, but also to help grow the Stannard brand. That way, if it's accessible on more areas, that more people will know that this exists, more people will watch it, and then we could actually do more with this, because let's face it, this thing has been in production for many, 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 many years. So we care a lot about the project, and we want to make sure that it succeeds. And it's succeeding so far. I didn't think possible, but Standard Misadventures episode 1 is about 300 views. That's not a ton, especially for someone with my subscribers, about 2,000. But hey, if it's not VeggieTales Abridged, it's gonna bomb. These have done better than the Medium Mementos reviews that were posted on this channel. And that's only gonna get more and more as time goes on, I believe. The Live and Reloaded crowd has especially flocked over to this, given the fact that, well, let's be real, this is a spiritual successor to it. In fact, one or two of the episodes are going to be directly connected to a Stannard episode. In fact, Shrishpur and the Great Divide, that unproduced episode, I'm going to be honest, we're actually going to reskin that and then turn that into a Stannard episode. For those who aren't aware, Governor Brian Lumpierre, who's one of the available roles for any male who wants to audition. We have a female audition open role too, so just go check out that recent video for more information. We're basically going to make an episode about the upcoming Stannard Vermont governor race and make it an allegory for the 2000 election and teach a lesson in unity. Just because someone believes things differently than you do or has different opinions or viewpoints doesn't mean that they're a bad person. You got to learn to get along with them and love them and respect them. And I think that's a very important lesson. And one that, a lot of kids shows don't really teach. So personally, I'm excited to go ahead and start talking about that and start doing that. A lot of the lessons, like say, the Charlie Brown one, Johnny Black, we've decided we're going to use that as well. There's an episode called Pirate's Passage that we have planned where we actually have, we're working on a band getting a song together. We have a demo all set up, but we're trying to look for people who have, better instrumentals or, maybe even a different singer to sing that. I'll keep you posted on that, how that goes along, because, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Pirate's Passage is going to be one that's directly inspired by, and then, of course, we have ones like the Bad Influence lesson for Gary Platt in the Dungeon of Mystery. That one is actually the lesson for the next episode. I almost said Superperson's Day Out. That's the third one. That's about procrastination. No, so the next one, Broadcast News, has the same lesson that Dungeon of Mystery had. And I think we're teaching it in about the same way. So again, chances are, if you liked VeggieTales Live and Reloaded, you're gonna like this. At least that's my hope. You know what? I'll say it's a guarantee, but how guarantees work. If they don't hold up, you get sued, and we don't want that. So you guys have any questions for the show? Anything at all? Like I said, if it's Stannard related, you can ask, and chances are, oh, I got one. What was with the narrator's mic in episode 1? Specifically Tops, I believe, or Top, Dawes, and narrator. Well, you see, that one, we don't know. I think the mic glitched out on that, so I had to amp up the volume, because what happened is instead of recording the audio like this, it ended up becoming like this, so we couldn't really hear it. So when we had to turn it up, it kind of got a little tinny and not very good sounding. So what we had to do was amp up the volume, and even if it didn't sound great, it's the best we had. No matter what, it was going to be like that. And we just decided, it's not too bad, and it's a pilot. People are going to understand. And we fixed it, it seems. I've listened back to the Superperson, Top, Dawes, and narrator lines that I got, and it doesn't seem like we have that issue anymore. Will there be more artwork posted for the characters elsewhere? Someday, yes. When we wait for Stannard Misadventures to get a little bit more revenue going, because, we just got monetization back, which is great. I'm gonna look at hiring some more artists to see if I could get some art going for the show, something along those lines. It's not my utmost priority right now, because my priority right now is maintaining the show and making sure it gets out and is an enjoyable experience for all. But, when the time comes around, I'm going to be hoping to do that. You'll probably see that on the wiki or the Spotify page, or hey, maybe even a website that we post sometime, because we are thinking about getting a website going when we have more episodes. When we get to about episode 10 or so, you're going to start seeing a lot more things pop up, like more art. You might see a website, because that's when we're really going to start pushing the brand. Because, yes, this kind of is a brand. It's starting slow, but hey, VeggieTales started slow. Think about it. When VeggieTales first started off, they only sold 500 of their VHSs. We have 300 some views, which is admittedly not the best, but I'll take it. It's better than like 12. The more people that watch it, the better, because that means the more people know what we're doing, what we're trying to say, the messages we're trying to get across. And above all, that they know that we're trying to put out a good word for the guy upstairs. And I hope that answers your question there. Sounds like good planning there. Well, thank you, Wage Gannon 6. We've been working on our business strategy for quite a while, and now we finally actually get to do it. Thank you, the VFU22. I'm also glad that this is getting some decent views. I was really scared, because you remember what happens when the Media Mementos reviews were posted last summer, right? They all tanked. ITV Digital got, was it 50 views? And then I had to private it because no one was checking it out. It was kind of sad and a little scary. But the Live and Reloaded crowd has flocked over to this, and it doesn't have the VeggieTales IP, so it's doing really well. I'm really surprised. It's getting about the same number of views that Live and Reloaded did when it first started off. Because Live and Reloaded, contrary to popular belief, well, good, that is the way to say your name, good. Contrary to popular belief, Live and Reloaded was not an immediate success. It actually took a little while. I'd say around, well, Egomaniac's really where it started spiking up, but when it became a legitimate full-on success is I'd say maybe around episode 8 or so. So we're hoping that Stannard gets the same. It's not the most professional thing ever, but we're going to learn more in time. I'm learning how to edit. I'm learning how to write more and more. The characters have already been developed since, I think 2016, fully developed. We don't really have too many worries on that front. And we own it entirely. So unlike, say, Live and Reloaded, or I'm going to bring back an old ghost here, VeggieTales Abridged, we own everything about it. Every single thing. So whatever we want to do with it, if we want to outsource it or put it on other platforms, we can do that without having to pay royalties. We can do that legitimately. We don't have to worry about any of that because we own Stannard and always will. Unless some kind of big idea thing happens where we have to go under, go bankrupt, and then sell off to someone. But if that ever does happen, we know who not to sell to. Not DreamWorks, not Disney, not anything owned by Time Warner. We'd sooner close the company than have that happen. All right, anything else you guys have? Because now's the time. If you have any questions at all, I'm here. When is Fergus going to get a starring role? Next episode, actually. Fergus is going to be the first Stannard Gang member to get a outright starring role. Technically speaking, I consider Erasmus the star of the first episode, but we also had a lot of Harold, Elaine, Elena, Fergus, really the only person we didn't have a lot of was Super Person, because we kind of made his reveal a bit of a surprise, even though, let's face it, you all knew he was coming. We told you he existed and that he was a member of the main cast. But Fergus is the one that's going to be the focus of the next one. Him and Scatterwalker, primarily. We're going to see Harold and Fergus clash a bit more, and also crash. We're going to see Fergus be absolutely insane. And according to Kyle Lee, voice of Fergus, he had a real good time recording these lines, especially one line in particular. I'm going to pull up the script of Broadcast News just to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, as a little bit of a thank you for tuning in. So the premise, for those who don't know, of this episode is that there's this newspaper going around the town of Stannard called the Scatterwumper Gazette. And it's all lies. It's filthy, stinking lies that make no sense. Everyone's slowly starting to buy it hook, line, and sinker, but then once it gets disproven, Fergus is the only one left trusting it. So the guy selling it, Phineas Q. Scatterwumper, is basically being a bad influence, and the Stannard Gang has to teach Fergus the difference between good influences and bad influences. Let's see, where's that line? So here's to show you what kind of horrible things are in the Scatterwamper Gazette. Scatterwamper speaks entirely in rhyme, by the way. So this is the line that Kyle had a really hard time saying because he kept laughing. Hard to say, some folk don't, some are unable, some just won't. I suggest the evening edition of the Gazette, something you'll find might make you upset. Still, it's worth it to enlighten you. You must learn this stuff so true. Oh no! John Ratzenberger's evil twin, Bon Batzenberger, has gone missing! It's kind of a stupid little line, and it doesn't make any sense, but apparently it killed him in the recording booth, so I'm happy to hear that he loved it so much, and I hope you guys too. It's not my favorite joke in there. I'm not going to give that one away. But you'll know it when you see it. Presumably. I don't know entirely. I can't read your minds. Or maybe I can, and I'm lying to you. Anything else you guys have? Oh, I got a pop-up here. Dang it. Hello, Random Girl 500. Are you going to keep VTA on the same channel Stannard? Well, actually, expect a video about that come episode. I don't know. But basically, there's going to be a lot that we have to discuss about VeggieTales Bridge. There's been some stuff that's popped up. I know the show's over, but there's going to be some stuff that's, well, I'm going to make a separate video about that. It's kind of important. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that here. I'm going to wait for the video entirely for that. So, yeah. I got to make that soon, actually, and give everyone a heads up, because Stannard's really moving along quickly. All right, do you guys have anything else you got to ask? If you got to ask something about Foul Manor or Media Mementos, I'll do another stream on that some other time. Which, by the way, for those who watch Foul Manor on the Wiki Library channel, #plug, those will now be released on Sundays rather than Fridays. Because I seem to always get piled up with a ton of work on Fridays, which is great. I love my job, but just because I'm staying at home doesn't mean that it's getting any easier or lighter in work. So, Sundays from now on. Stannard, unfortunately, doesn't have a set release schedule. I would like it to, but I don't really think that's feasible. Besides, if one comes out every month or so, I think it's kind of more of a special event, you know? What I'm saying makes sense, or am I just some kind of crazy guy? I mean, I could be both. It's possible to be both. Oh, and by the way, for those who don't remember, we have an open audition for Stannard. Governor Brian Lampere for any guys out there, and Gwendolyn, the owner of the Awful House restaurant, for any girls out there, due in 1 week, next Saturday. If you want to audition, make an audition video or audio recording and send it to me either on Discord or by sending a link on here. If you want to audition, go right for it. The worst that's going to happen is that yes, I'm imploring you, if you want to do it, now's your chance. I don't know when another role is going to open up. So if you're not on Stannard already, or if you are and you want another role, now's probably the time. I'm waiting for the day where someone tries to copyright claim Stannard and say that they own it or something. And then for the very first time, unlike, say, VTA, I can slam my fist down and go, objection, because they don't. I own that, and so does Kyle, but that means we own it. All right, do you guys have anything else here? Because if not, I think that might be it for today. Guys have anything at all? Anything at all? Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. It's good to see you guys again, and I hope you guys make it for the premiere of Stannard Misadventures Episode 2, Broadcast News.